Welcome back to the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. I'm Cheryl Garlock with Colorado Front Range Properties. So glad you could join us today. Now, I was just talking to you guys about selling your home there, and I wanted to mention real quick here before I move on with Rene here that there is a guidebook if you're thinking about selling your home. It's called Tips for Surviving Your Home Sale, Guide for Home Sellers. Do you know where they can get that, Rene?
From you.
Yeah, they can. And guess what? It's an easy download. You don't even have to tell me your name. How about that?
Why don't you tell them where your site is?
Yeah, you go to ColoradoSpringsBestHomes.com, you guys. Go to ColoradoSpringsBestHomes.com. That is the only website you need in real estate, you guys, okay? Hey, so go there, and right below the panoramic picture, there's this little guidebook. Now, I'll tell you about this because there's some great tips in there about how to shorten the selling process. I know you want to be in control. And tips for showing your home, just like they do on TV. You know, that's kind of an important thing. And also, I'm going to tell you one other thing that's in there is a worksheet. That's an important worksheet. I think it is anyway, because it's about what's unique about your home, your neighborhood. You want to work in tandem with your realtor. So I know what you got to do. You got to call me, 719-321-7600. Now, Rene Rollings with Cornerstone Home Lending is joining us today. And Rene, you and I were talking about the infamous
DIY.
DIY. Do it yourself.
Right.
Do it yourself. Not a good idea in so many ways.
In so many ways.
And sometimes it's okay, it depends, you can mow your own yard. We'll let you do that. Okay? We'll let you do that. But when it comes to residential real estate, okay, Rene, I got you, didn't I? All right. So when it comes to residential real estate, you really want to be aware of some things that you shouldn't probably do it yourself. And we were talking earlier about, the inventory of homes and how that's in a changing phase right now, and buyers because the inventory is going to be getting reduced here.
Right.
Then what happens is the prices of these properties actually go ahead and move on up a little bit there.
Sure.
And sometimes people are looking to save money.
Right.
And I think you get calls on this all the time. Well, hey, I found this house, but it's going to need certain things here. Can I go ahead and get my loan on it, but it needs this, 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 this?
And I have to tell them no.
Yeah, tell us why.
Well, because the bank's not going to lend on a home that's unsafe or inhabitable. Mm-hmm. So you've got to have your flooring in there. You've got to have appliances. You've got to, you've got to be no holes in walls. No, cosmetic is one thing.
Yeah.
But if there are issues with this home, and you can't look at it as, oh, I can do that myself. The bank is not going to lend on it. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to keep looking.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I show a lot of homes to buyers, and I can't tell you how many times I've gone into homes and I've actually seen, okay, the countertop is missing, okay, or, all right, you guys, I'm telling you the truth. I've actually gone in there and I've seen the toilets missing.
Really?
Yeah, I kid you not. Now, the lender's not going to loan without a toilet. You kind of got to have that.
It's one of those necessities.
It's just one of those necessity type of things there, and so that's really important. The point I'm trying to make here, and Renee's better at really relating to this here, is that the buyer, as the lenders like to call them, borrowers, are not the only ones that get approved. The house, the property must get approved
Exactly.
too.
The house has to be approved as well.
And this is really important from the aspect of the lender and securing. Remember, that's all about risk for the lender.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you know that. So what's a good suggestion for people to do?
Well, there's one is that they can actually get a rehab loan.
Right.
If they love the house,
Right.
It meets all their criteria. Or maybe you just need to let that house go and keep looking.
Right. So get a rehab loan. And the other thing is they need to ask their realtor that they're working with, okay, well, I see a few things missing. I mean, did you guys know that if peeling paint is on the walls there or outside there, then that's a problem?
It is. I just had that issue myself.
Yeah, right, you did. And so you might not always be able to buy that. Or you're going to have to get that property fixed beforehand.
Yes.
That's a whole nother nightmare, because, the seller may or may not want to fix that ahead of time there. They may not have the capabilities of fixing it.
They may not.
And so you have to really learn how to balance these things. So this rehab loan, and I know you've got some great rehab loans that we have what's called that FHA 203K.
203K.
And I don't ask us about the numbers and the letters, you guys. I don't know why they came up with that. I'm just used to that. But it allows you to go ahead and borrow money to wrap it into your loan essentially,
Yes.
and make certain repairs, does it not?
It does.
That is a great one. And let's also talk to people about, things like permits. I mean, these are really important.
Well, and that is my big thing. All right. So the DIYs, that's perfectly fine. But if you're doing something that does require a permit, do everyone a favor, including yourself, and get that permit. Because if you go to sell it and it doesn't have a permit, it's possible that they'll make you tear it out.
Exactly. You've got to understand that the rules for underwriting, the approval process here have gotten more rigid. And it's not, again, about just the borrower, it's about the property. And it's because, let's be frank here, you guys, the lender has way more into the property than you do. Unless you're really putting 50% down, then you're about equal.
Right.
That sort of happens like that there. Now, we were just talking before the show started here about this issue, particularly where modular homes and manufactured homes come into play. And while we have what we call stick-built homes, the regular builder and that sort of thing, that's a little easier to deal with there. But a lot of people get interested in modular and manufactured homes because sometimes they think they can get a better deal on them, or they cost a little less, or they're in more rural parts.
Right.
That kind of a thing there.
Yep.
But there are actually, we have a little funny thing here. The cheaper the house is, the harder it is to get qualified sometimes.
That is the honest to God truth.
Isn't it? It is really true sometimes.
It's like Murphy's Law or something. I don't know what that is.
But, and understanding what the difference between a modular and a manufactured home, elaborate on that if you would. So
Absolutely. A modular home is actually built in a factory. But the difference is that home is actually put on a flatbed.
Yeah.
And then driven to the location and then built at the location.
So they get a regular foundation, and then the parts are basically units, that are really built together in there.
Yes.
Whereas the
manufactured home is actually on a chassis.
So it's on wheels.
Exactly. So what's on the chassis? Your truck, your car, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same exact thing. And also too, what does a car have? It has license plates. So does a manufactured home.
Right.
So we call them HUD plates. So the difference is that one is literally on its own wheels and driven to the site.
And you know what, you guys, you don't want to be like, what was that little red? The Three Little Pigs there, and the houses blow away.
Yes.
Straw.
Right.
I know, but the brick ones stayed. Okay, well that's what manufactured homes are like.
The stick house didn't make it,
and the straw one sure
and
did.
the straw one didn't make it.
Hey, stay tuned for more from the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. We will be right back with more. We got some properties to share with you. You definitely want to stay tuned, and we'll see you.